Chen has broken her silence relating to the Tenet Media story from last year, where the DOJ claimed that Tenet Media was a front for Russian influence operations and that people such as Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, and Dave Rubin were paid to spread Russian propaganda.
My name is Casey, I'm the Rumble Dad, and this channel is devoted to telling the truth about whether conservatism is, in fact, the way forward for fatherhood, freedom, and faith in America. And we must talk about the potential Russian influence hazard of one Chen, or was this, in fact, a DOJ witch hunt to try to erase voices on the right? Let's get into it. Chen broke her silence. She was a podcaster and YouTuber, and I actually was a fan of her work, but she was accused of being a Russian asset and taking money from a company that was trying to influence the election in favor of Donald Trump, and that happened about 1 year ago. She broke her silence and had another baby since then, and we want to look into some of what she said and look into how the Biden DOJ was in fact weaponizing itself against right-wing media.
Stop it. Get some help.
Lauren said that 1 year ago, the FBI spent 4 hours searching our house and interrogating me about our company Tenet, which licensed mostly right-leaning conservative content. They took all our electronics and seized our assets. This included our life savings and revenue that had nothing to do with Tenet, such as payments and contracts from the Blaze and TPUSA. Now, Lauren had a YouTube channel from which she has been banned since this came out. Thank you, Merrick Garland and the Biden DOJ. And in fact, at the very least, even though she took this licensing agreement from a Russian company, it doesn't seem that it changed any of her media, nor the media of the other people accused, which include Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and others. But the fact that she just has this licensing agreement meant that she needed to be shut down, and perhaps even the FBI dropped the case after the election was over, which tells you everything you need to know. So just let's end the witch hunt and let's stop demonizing and weaponizing anybody who has a voice that is against the liberal world order, because they came after us then and they will continue to do so using their little fingers in, the various three-letter agencies to try to shut down dissenting voices, just like they're doing in the UK, and just like Jamie Raskin said today in front of Congress and in front of Nigel Farage was not happening, which is a total lie.
A free speech crisis in America today, but there's no free speech crisis in Britain. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has not shut down GB News, where Mr. Farage has his own show, just because Mr. Farage has used his airtime to call for banning peaceful protests that he disagrees with. No one has stopped him from going on Russian TV 17 times and saying also and repeating that the one world political leader he most admired was Vladimir Putin, even though Vladimir Putin is a war criminal.
Lauren goes on to say that though there were never any criminal charges, much less convictions, due to this widely publicized investigation, all of our professional contracts were promptly dropped. We were deplatformed on YouTube, TikTok, Discord, and Google. We and even some of our family members were debanked by several financial institutions. We were forced to move due to threats on their life. Our work-based immigration visa was torpedoed by the actions. She's from Canada. From the actions of our company, and it was not renewed. The Canadian government also seemed to have opened their own investigation into us following the highly publicized American case, and of course, we quickly amassed legal fees well into six figures. This is an insane witch hunt, and of course the government would come after their enemies. The Leviathan always comes for the nationalist, and they continued their witch hunt against her. And frankly, I don't care, even if it wasn't a setup, I don't care if she licensed with a Russian company. Just because someone is from one region of the world does not necessarily mean that they're trying to influence our elections or are automatically our enemy. And quite frankly, this is just the Leviathan going after their favorite target, the Russian government, as the boogeyman that somehow has this great influence over American elections.
Want the truth on what really happened here? And then just, for no reason in December, they said, nah, we're not interested. Thank you and have a nice day. And I was informed by my legal team that the case was over, literally within like a month or two of it starting. And I said, you got to be kidding me. This was a scam the whole time.
Lauren says in her statement, no criminal charges were ever actually brought against myself, my husband, or our company. The legal investigation has been quietly closed. Despite this, the road ahead of us is fraught with difficulty and uncertainty. Now that she's trying to raise her own money, and I'm not really sure if I had $5, I might pitch it into her just to try to get her up off of the mat that she's been laid on by the U.S. government. However, one way that she might be able to reinstitute some financial well-being to herself, her family, and her children in this unjust witch hunt was simply to be restored on YouTube and all these other platforms so that her opinions, which I actually did watch her show previous to her being canceled, her opinions might be out there and might be able to earn her money again as it did with TPUSA and the Blaze and some of these other reputable outlets. So, re-platform Lauren Chen, stop the witch hunt, and let's end the Leviathan's tentacles into all affairs of nationalism.